What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James. I'm back in the building, man. You know what it is. It's Monday, and it's time for By the Numbers. Started that about a few weeks ago. Kind of like how it's going. So we're going to talk about the numbers that happened yesterday. Dallas took a loss, first loss in about, 4 games. We're on a nice 4-game win streak. Cooper Rush suffers his first defeat as a starter. Dallas ends up losing 26-17. Hard fought game. Philadelphia jumped on Dallas early, 20-0. 2 interceptions early in their own territory. They got a nice long drive. Some penalties kind of hurt them. They converted 2 fourth downs on a big first drive when they had it was like a 15-play drive when they scored on that one. Got 2 fourth downs. One of them was the offsides by Dante Fowler, which was huge. Then, like I said, they were up 20-0. Dallas almost got in the end zone, got a field goal, big tip by Jason Hargrave because I thought that was a touchdown on that slant route to CeeDee Lamb. And then, the Cowboys fought all the way back. But let's talk about the numbers that would happen. A lot of chitter chatter was coming from both sides, from Philadelphia's side. Oh, y'all defense wasn't all that. We saying, oh, your team wasn't all that. You only won by this many points. We spotted you this many points. So it's a lot of back and forth. Had a good time. Shout out to my dog, Joe Castro, on the Best of Interviews podcast. We did our first live play-by-play action. It was kind of on the cusp. It was on the cut. It was freestyle, but I had a good time, and hopefully we can do some more of that. But like I said, let's check out these numbers, and we always start with the quick line right here. Like I said, I like to use a lot of this from Pro Football Focus. I don't trip on the grades, but what I look at is the numbers because the numbers are real. I don't look at the grades. But just looking at a little bit of things, basically what it was talking about, neither one of these offenses were huge. Neither Dallas nor Philadelphia were able to generate a high rate of explosive plays, but the Eagles did enough for the win thanks to their option offense, and that was huge. The RPO, and you can read it right here, the RPO was huge in this game, and it kept the Dallas in a confusion. That RPO pauses you. The whole purpose of that is to hide that ball, to hold that defender just for a second so you can make that move. And a lot of times Jalen Hurts was right there, and you had Michael Parsons sitting on that edge, and he had to make a decision. Was it going to the running back, or was Jalen Hurts going to keep it? And that froze him just a little bit, kind of took away his little bit of aggressiveness because he had to think on the field because of those plays. And if you see right here, led by Jalen Hurts, Philly's offense is predicated on package plays like the read option and the run pass option, the RPO. And I remember I made a tweet and it said they are going to have some designed runs for Jalen Hurts in this game, and they did. Yesterday, the Eagles' ground game generated positive expected points, added EPA on option run plays, and Hurts was 6 for 12 for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns on those option pass plays. So you saw they hurt it. They saw they hurt. So just scrolling down a little bit, you see the coverage. It was pretty good yesterday. That's why they got Bradbury for a reason. Darius Slay got another interception. They had 3 on the day. It says you see right here what Bradbury and Darius Slay did as a duo. It goes right here. Rookie spotlight. It says right here, Cowboys first-round draft pick struggled at left tackle, earning a sub-40 pass blocking grade on first review. As it stands, he allowed 1 hit and 4 hurries. The most pressure Smith has allowed in a single game in so far in his rookie campaign. Hey, we're cool with Tyler Smith. We knew he was going to take his lumps, but he's still playing absurdly great, especially since the way they threw him in there. But I believe Terrence Steele, Connor McGovern, and Tyler Smith all gave up like 4 pressures total, 3 hurries and like 1 hit on the quarterback. 4 pressures total between them, came up to like 12 pressures. But the quarterback was not touched. They were still able to run the ball, and you see where it says right here. And we can go here, some of the numbers right here. Cooper Rush, right here, you see that rating. Hey, I don't care. They were saying, hey, the ball was on your side of the field. That's why, But to me, Jalen Hurts, no hate on you, bro. I like you as a player, but I still don't fear him as a quarterback. I feel like he's still more run pass, and, that's what really won the game for him. You saw the 4 sacks right here was more the run pass, not really the pass, because the passes that they were throwing were nothing but drags. There were quick slants out, dump offs on, RPOs. Dump off screens. So it wasn't like they were really challenging it deep. I felt like they were really keeping it close to the vest, and they just wanted to get that win. and they felt like they could really get on Cooper Rush, and I feel like that's where they really attacked. And I'm interested to see how much man and zone they played in that game. But here, going through the numbers, Ezekiel had a damn good game. 13 carries, 81 yards, average 6 yards a carry, good bounce back game. Tony Pollard only had 11 for 44. And I remember I told you the 30-30 club, it was around there. 38 passes, he had 26 rushes. But it was just really a little bit too late. You see him right here on the defensive side where they allowed, I think, 139 yards on the ground by the Eagles on 39 carries. I think one of Miles Sanders did the most damage. But as I said before, they didn't run crazy on Dallas, but they had runs when they needed them. And I think that's the problem with the run defense with Dallas right now. It's not like they cannot stop the run, but they can't consistently stop it, and they can't seem to stop it when you need it the most. Like if there was a 3rd and 3, a 3rd and 4, seems like these teams are getting those little bit of yardage to get those first downs rushing, and they need to continue to look at that. I like Bohan in the middle. Carlos Watkins came in good, but they're still going to have to look at that middle, and they're going to have to continue to get that run game down. I'm going to show you some numbers that the rush per average is dropping, but it just seems like teams can still run on Dallas, and I think that's the issue with me. As you can see right here, look at those numbers. Jake from State Farm, he's turning up. Peyton Hendershot, we're going to show those numbers right there. Those two tight ends, man, are doing their job. I don't know what's up with Dalton Schultz, but I said I don't know what role he has because these guys are just growing right before our eyes. They can block you. They'll put a body on you. Remember I said the first time I saw Peyton Hendershot, his body type reminded me of Aaron Hernandez, not the off-field, but just the on-field, what he looked like. And Jake Ferguson, I liked him when he was at the Senior Bowl, and he was one of the guys I wanted to draft that they couldn't get Jelani Woods, and they end up getting him. But they're doing a great job over there right now. So let's go get over to some stats right here. You can see where Dallas is at right now after their last game, 4-2 at third in the NFC East, 18 points a game. Still, I think they were third yesterday. Now they're fourth, 16 points a game. Still damn good. That's not going to win a lot of games, 192 yards passing, but Dak Prescott should be coming back against these Lions. That's going to be huge because that offensive pass yards definitely should come up, and you should be able to attack the ball more in the air with Dak Prescott. 118 yards on the ground, respectable. Your middle level. Continue to stay with that ball, running the ball when Dak Prescott comes back. Don't start getting pass happy and throwing the ball everywhere because now you can throw it. Stick with that 30-30 philosophy, and you'll be okay. And we're scrolling down right here. You see some of the numbers. And just serving the numbers right quick on the Cowboys side. Definitely you're going to see it in the red because we knew Cooper Rush, what he did. And like you said, shout out to Cooper Rush for holding it down. We never thought he was going to get those 4 straight wins the way he did. He held it down, beating the Rams and the Bengals, 2 Super Bowl champs. Obviously, it was a team effort, but he made some good plays in that game. So shout out to Cooper Rush for doing his job. A lot of people were calling for him to get cut. I was one of them. I was like, why do they keep him here? But obviously there was a reason. He knows the system. He knows the program. He knows the players. He knows the coaching staff. And you can see it was like he came right in. And that's what you need as a backup. So he definitely did his job as the backup, as you can see those numbers right here. These are the numbers I like getting to. These are the rushing yards, as you can see. Teams' yards and the opponents, what they're ranked. So still in that red, rushing attempts, Cowboys attempts. So that tells me they're staying with the run. And I like that. Rushing average 19, 4.3. Definitely want to get that up. You want to have it at a 4.5 as an offense, especially in the running game. So they definitely want to get that up. I do like how they dropping it down to 4.4 because remember about 3 weeks ago they were at 5.0. Then they dropped to 4.7 last week, and now they're at 4.4, good for 16th. As I said before, though the yard per average has to come down, but once again, they also need to be able to stop the run when it's necessary, when it's a big third down, when it's a 3rd and 3, a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4. They need to be able to get those short yardage run plays stopped, and that's what really kind of hurt them in that game against Philly. And then when we keep on scrolling down, passing attempts, you see right here, but once again, still tops in the league, 5.9. Teams are only averaging 5.9 yards pass play against the Cowboys. First in sacks at 24. 9th in the league in sacks given up. That's good for 3rd. So I posted those numbers. Those are huge because you look at those numbers. As much maligned as they say that offensive line was going to be, you're only giving up 9 sacks in 6 games. That's damn good, especially when you have a rotation at that left guard with Connor McGovern, Faranock, and now Jason Peters. You've had a lot of influx in that line. So for you to have your rookie holding it down, Terrence Steele is falling right into his right tackle position, getting better and better. You like what you're seeing. One of the things that they continue got to look at is those penalty yards. 28th in penalties, are still giving a high amount of penalties. Penalties hurt them in that game. Philadelphia only had 2 penalties. Dallas had 10. That could be the difference. So they got to continue to work on that right there as we talk about it. So let's jump into some numbers right quick. Let's go to right here. Let's go to some passing. See what Cooper Rush did. As you can see, 18 attempts, 38 attempts, 18 completions, 47%. Not good at all. But like I said, 30-30. 3 interceptions, the 1 touchdown, a beautiful play by Jake Ferguson. Like I said, those 2 guys are growing into the roles. You really love that. And you can see right here on the graded throws, drop back percentages. Balls that were batted down. That was a big batted ball Jason Hargrave did when the Cowboys were threatening to score 7, and they end up getting 3 right before halftime. That was huge on this play. And like I said, was some pressures, but was not sacked. And you like that pressure. You seen the drop back on the pressures, but good job by that offensive line as a whole. They stood up to that pretty good Eagles defense. It's not like they're a terrible defense. And then you can just see where Cooper Rush was throwing the ball. His numbers outside left, between the numbers outside right. Didn't really challenge it deep. These were all pretty much 10-plus and in. It was really a lot of mid-range game. And it looked like the Eagles were kind of sitting at that, and they were jumping those routes and sitting right on those routes because they knew Cooper Rush does not have the strongest arm. So I think they just were really aggressive in their front as far as how they were going to attack in the secondary. And I saw a lot of them really jumping those routes. They were really jumping the routes. They were jumping as soon as they were throwing the ball, they were jumping those routes. And I just really believe that he wasn't going to pump fake. And once he saw it, he was throwing it. And Cooper Rush does not throw a hard ball. He throws a very catchable ball. So if you're a defender, you can catch that pass. But you can see the numbers right here. All right, let's go to some receiver matchups, see what those receivers did. Not too much, in the air. CeeDee Lamb, this is what he did. He didn't have a terrible day. 5 receptions, 68 yards, but he wasn't just really impactful. Let's see as we look at it right here. Got a first down on Bradbury, Maddox, and Edwards. Darius Slay, he held Bradbury down. He held Michael Gallup down. I don't know. Michael Gallup didn't look right that game. He looked like in that game where it was that interception, looked like he was laboring a little bit. I don't know. That could be me. But that's something to check out. But this is the guys that you were really getting excited about right here. Your young tight ends. And Jake Ferguson, you saw what he did in this game. He's only going to get better. I don't know what kind of role they're going to have with Dalton Schultz, Peyton Hendershot. Those are your 2 guys. The role that they envision the Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin, the role that they were envisioning, that's what you have in Hendershot and Jake Ferguson. That's what the roles that they were envisioning in that 12 personnel. These guys fitted perfectly. So kudos to the Cowboys. Hendershot, I didn't know why I was like, how in the hell did he not get drafted? But I seen why he had some off-field issues because it was like, no way he should have not got drafted. And that was really a godsend in Dallas's eyes. And then you got Jake Ferguson, who we wanted the fast guy in Jelani Woods. But like I said, once I saw him at that Senior Bowl, I was like, okay, he got soft hands. I knew he was a willing block, but I said he's got to be better because he was getting kind of rough. But they blocked him Wisconsin. So great job by those guys. You see Noah Brown right here. Tony Pollard, they weren't really in the Sean McEwen got a little bit of work in there. Let's go to some rushing. And this is where you see the numbers right here from Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, both apiece. CeeDee Lamb got a couple quick short runs. As you see the attempts. And then you see the yards after contact. Ezekiel Elliott had pretty good yards, 61 yards after contact, average 4.69 yards after contact pretty good. Tony Pollard, 3.18. And Zeke Elliott had three explosive runs, at least 10 plus. We said that Ezekiel Elliott don't have that burst, but he was running hard in that game. He ran good. He notoriously has good games against the Philadelphia Eagles. This wasn't a bad one right here. As you really see where they really attack. Let's see, rushing direction. You got Ezekiel Elliott, his running numbers and where he ran at, his direction of running, the left end, left tackle. You see it right here. On the right side, it got a couple of nice little runs on that Terrence Steele side. But, left side, left end, Tyler Smith. Not really Tyler Smith. I'm sorry. That's left tackle, left end. You probably your tight end. Hey, Ferguson, well, either that was Ferguson or Hendershot. They put on some effort, man. And you see these are the numbers as a whole, as a team. There's Tony Pollard. They really like to get a lot of his work on that left side. It just seems like when he gets a lot of his explosive runs, it's on the left side. And you can see the totals right here as well. Get over to some pass blocking. You see the pass blocking numbers. So here we go. This is where it shows you the pressures right here. Total pressures that were given up. 15 total. So this is what I was saying about Tyler Smith. He had 3 hurries, 1 hit on the quarterback. Connor McGovern had 3 hurries, 1 hit on the quarterback. Terrence still had 3 hurries, 1 hit on the quarterback. Jason Peters got in there, 3 plays, 3 pass sets. Connor McGovern was most of them, but they didn't have a great grade. But as I said before, no sacks given up. And, 15 pressures isn't bad at all because Cowboys only had, I believe, 16 total. So that was a damn good job by the offensive line, really on both sides. Even though they got 4 sacks, they did do a pretty good job up front, Philadelphia Eagles did. Let's go over to some defense right quick. See the defensive numbers. They got to figure something out that linebacker. I liked how Chauncey Golston played in this game. He showed up. I remember I said he was like a lost guy. Haven't heard a lot of him. He made a couple big plays, 2 big run stops that I saw right here. And you see right here in that run game, he had those 2 big run stops. I've been wondering, is he a forgotten guy? I'd like to see maybe he get him some more reps on that inside. Maybe he can continue to help that run defense. You see DeMarcus Lawrence had 7 tackles. Malik Hooker, I believe, led the team with 12 total. He was all over the field, but they were getting a lot in that secondary, so that's where you see right here. See who was the greater, the highest on the stops. 4 run stops was DeMarcus Lawrence. See right here. Let's get to some of that pass rush. Let's see who led the team in pass rush snaps. Osa Ogadazua, 21. Michael Parsons, they were putting a lot of him in coverage in this game, looked like. Marcus Lawrence. Dorrance Armstrong Jr., Bohanna was in there. But you can see this is one of their lowest rated games if we're talking about pressures in this game. Totally. Who led the team in pressures? Michael Parsons didn't. He wasn't a factor early. Okay? He wasn't a factor early. Obviously, you've seen the sacks right here. Fowler. There's a big offsides on him. but he's continuing to get more work. Who had the best pass rush win rate? Anthony Barr. He's got to step up. He's got to get better. Michael Parsons, Sam Williams. But we need to see more from Anthony Barr. He's just kind of being a guy right now. I need to see some more impactful plays from him and LVE. I think that's what's really hurting the team is they're not really getting the impactful plays at the linebacker position. I think the defensive line is doing its job, but those linebackers got to be able to see those gaps, man, the A, B, C gap, be able to, get through that trash, come downhill, make plays. I just feel like too many times that, they're like a step slow, and that's what it seems like to me. We go to coverage. Yeah, see that Michael Parsons a lot more coverage this game. Somebody who's got to play more, and I made a tweet about this, is Deron Bland. I get it, but Jordan Lewis, man, with 5 or 6 of completions against him, that one play where they had the little rub route where, and they did it twice with A.J. Brown underneath, rubbed him right underneath, and I don't know who was because they did a bunch trips to the left side. Brown does the rub the other opposite way, and Jordan Lewis is just like lost. I don't know who was supposed to have that. I think it was Jordan Lewis, and he wasn't even in the play, man. I just feel like you're playing a lot of these other young guys out there. Jordan Lewis is, he's not impactful. So if you're going to play a guy, and I feel like if you play Bland more and more and more, he's going to bring you more impact than a Jordan Lewis. He's a bigger body. He's physical in the run game. Obviously, you can see he's going to cover. Yeah, they attacked him the first game he was in, but they're going to attack Jordan Lewis. So if you're going to lose or get some growth, man, throw him in there now. But, hey, I ain't the guy. That's Dan Quinn's job. But Anthony Brown, he caught a little bit of work. These are the yards. Anthony Brown gave up the most yards. Jordan Lewis was next. Trevin Diggs, he had a pretty good game, only 11 yards caught on him. Pass breakups. TD's giving up. Jordan Lewis, that was on him, and Donovan Wilson. Played around Bland, though. Let's see, what's Jordan Lewis looking like? Everybody went against him. You catch him. Now, he didn't give up a lot of yards. So to his credit, didn't give up a lot of yards. But I'd rather see Deron Bland get more time. There's Anthony Brown. Curse. Trevin Diggs. Good game by Diggs. Let me see what that offensive line was looking like. This is from the Philadelphia Eagles side. Everybody was talking about how Lane Johnson turned up. Let me look. Yeah, he did turn up. I mean, they were clean across the board. The one who probably had the most problems was he came in right quick was Jack Driscoll. He's the one that had the most, but Jordan Mailata. But Lane Johnson, hey, can't hate on him. And all zeros across the board. See you next time we play him. But there it kind of is. There's your kind of recap by the numbers. Check them out. Go ahead and check out the latest Big Game James. We got final word, obviously, going down tomorrow. We'll have lots to talk about with that Eagles game. Detroit Lions up next. Dak Prescott. I'm sure we're going to be talking a lot about that. Positively Relentless. We got that coming up. Dallas Mavericks in the building. You know what that is. Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Mavericks. Dallas played again. Christian Wood, he's turning up 17 points, 8 boards a game. He's looking nice out there. So we got a lot of Mavs to talk about, Cowboys. And might be interviewing my dog, Matt Johnson, former Cowboys player. He's over there coaching high school football. He's turning up over there, too. We're trying to lock down that interview. And then I got a couple more interviews coming up with the young kids. Check out that latest video, our high school video I dropped. Please go support it. A lot of great athletes out there. A lot of these guys are going to Division I big-time schools, man. But they need your support. So please, you check out that video, high school videos. Go check that out. But this is a big game.